Ready to go. Let's do it. Let's do it. Do it. Okay, here you go. People are standing in line. You can squeeze juice for the whole family.
If you compare music that, say, we came up listening to compared to some of the modern day music, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, I mean, if you're getting really academic about it, I would say the drum machine and sequencing is the answer to today's music, because yesterday's music wasn't so sequenced. It was a little
Sure.
bit. And so the sequencing has taken over, and people expect it in terms of when they're at a concert and how they hear music. There's a lot of certain way that the beats are programmed that are, I can see that it's optimal for the people to hear it. I'm wondering how I can try and get a little bit of that, because it's an art to capturing the how to get a good synthesized sound. So that's the difference. That people like Stevie Wonder and the Motown sound, they wrote analog. And today,
So, would you say it's better or worse or just evolved into something different?
it evolved into something different.
Okay,
So,
fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Some people I talk to, and they're like, well, the music is not as good as it used to be because of X, Y, Z, and then other people say, well, it's better because of X, Y, Z. Um, and I suppose my take on it is like when you go back to Motown and those days. I mean, like you had a bunch of different musicians with a bunch of different ideas in terms of how to do things versus now. A lot of things are done on a laptop, whatever. However, just like you said, that's a different art in itself in terms of the sequencing and everything else. And so, people's ears have just evolved into something different in terms of what they consider good music. But
well,
but to say that it's better or worse, I suppose that's entirely open to interpretation.
Well, I think there's an expectation from the ears, from the listening audience, on when they hear a piece of music, how it's going to go. And it's entirely different if you listen to something from the 60s, the 70s, even the 80s. You'll hear a totally different texture to.
This is true.
Yeah. I'm probably at that point in time where I'm not totally saying, oh, those good old days, but I can see where people do say those good old days, but try to adapt to it, I guess.
Yep. So, for like any younger viewers out there who might be playing an instrument or thinking about taking up an instrument or whatever, any suggestions that you would have for them?
Practice often. It's not something I do, but I mean that's the key to the mastery, and get in a band maybe, or if you're going to do something without a band, try and put out your music so people can hear you. That's probably the key. Just whatever you're doing, make it so people can hear you. If you want to be heard.
Right.
Some
Okay.
people don't want to be heard. They just like making the music.
So if you had a musician or a band that you could have had a chance to set in on a session with, past or present, pick your top three.
Oh, Miles Davis, P-Funk, and Sun Ra. Not necessarily in that order. But
Okay, all right.
I played. Dad had me sit in with a couple of uh, his music efforts in the thousands. So I did get a chance to play with Dad in 2006 and 2007. A couple of live concerts. So it was really great. So.
And that's I suppose that's one advantage that you had that I guess a lot of people don't is that have a established parent who's a musician who has access to some of the top talent in the world. So that's cool though.
It's it is cool. It's double. It's a double thing though because he's way up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, he practices. This is what I'm talking about. He practices, and well, maybe not. Bless him. At 85, at this rating, he's still performing. That's what he wrote back when I got this email the other day. For as long as he can, but he practiced when I was a kid overnight. He taught school in the day, so he practiced a lot. Got ready for his concerts. He's a very prepared musician, so I was grateful to be able to sit in with him and the people he had.
That's cool, man. That's real cool. But I can understand what you mean by it's a it could be double-edged sword also because the expectations or people like well he's just got to do this because of who his dad is or whatever. So I get it.
Yeah, different people would be different ways. Let's just put it this way. He's been continually playing with the best people he could find.
Right.
And there were little times when in high school I practiced with him a couple of times. And stuff like that. It really elevated my ability, but he was playing overseas and out of town at that point a lot. I think that's why he wanted just to keep just anybody
right
whacking away. Just keep my chops up good,
Right. Well, there's anybody who's gonna keep your chops sharp, it's definitely gonna be one Archie Shepp.
Yeah, and I saw him in Portland, Oregon in 2020. I think that was it. Yeah, 2020, like in the spring. Brought a full band into play, and he was excellent.
Yeah, he was here at the Kennedy Center a few years ago, and my mom and I think my brother and my niece and nephew, my sister-in-law, they went. So I actually put that in the I put that in the in the doc that I did with him a couple of years ago, actually. So real nice show. So you got anything for the audience?
Well.
Nice. Well, I appreciate that.
It's good.
Well, Pavel, thanks for coming on.
Absolutely. So
we must do this again sometime soon. You have a nice afternoon, and I'll catch up with you later on, sir.
All right now.
Until next time.
All right.
And I will talk to you soon.
All right now. Take care.
Okay, man.
All right.
El canciller alemán Gerhard Schröder comenzó.
Thanks. Now the weather.
Did y'all do the fix map of this house? We did right now. Thank you.
What you're seeing is real.